Wait. There we go. That's the time reset. I am Eric. This is host Rachel. And we together comprise the central heart engine core, the adamantium deposit of talking with famous people. I want to talk right now about, I got to check in with you. About obviously always two things. The small picture questions and the big picture questions. Those are the two things. You are the first.
It's true you are.
Actually, you're not the first, but you are first.
The first.
Yeah.
This time. Hambone, what kind of Hicks? Like Hicks is in hillbilly kind of Hicks, or like Hicks, someone with the last name of Hicks?
We have a typo. We meant to say ticks. We all don't like fleas and ticks. Okay. Small picture topics. The brackets. Our new weed. Big picture topic. And the big frame question is always the same real big frame question. Can I fix the world with words? When I'm feeling like I can't, I get demoralized. When I'm feeling like I can, I'm feeling enthusiastic. So that's kind of a bit of epiphany, I suppose. I get when I'm not happy, it's because I've lost, for the moment, in the moment anyway, my faith in my ability to change the world with my words. My words should be able to fix certain things because they're so correct, but they don't always fix in the way that I want them to. I need to sometimes step away and remember they fix slowly across time sometimes. It's like people don't necessarily show me they've been fixed, even if they're being fixed,
Thank you, Winston's mom.
Oh, thanks, Winston's mom. That was very slow. You got to be a real fan of talking with famous people, Winston's mom, to watch that one. I thought about speeding it up to 1.5 speed and just uploading at 1.5 speed, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to upload straight as it is. It is what it is. If somebody wants to say it's really boring or something, that's fine. Rachel and I had fun making it.
We had fun doing it.
So we're just going to put it up there.
With all the craziness of March Madness, you never know what happens. Why not use tarot too?
True. I thought it was interesting that the tarot deck picked Gonzaga all the way to the national championship.
Yeah, it did. We'll see if they go all the way.
So a lot of upsets going on here today in the first round of the tournament. In fact, we're currently looking at, I guess that game's over. Yeah, it must be over.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and it's not quite over, but looks like Villanova's going to take it. 68-60. I would have liked Winthrop to win that because they were kind of one of my, I guess you'd say, there were 12 I picked on a lot of the brackets. I liked Winthrop going into this. They looked like a good team. I looked at their stats and stuff. But, of course, unlike the other upsets today, I could tell watching, even though Winthrop was playing well and everything, Villanova was just too good for him. Whereas watching the, let's say the what would it be called? The Oral Roberts upset. Oral Roberts is just as good as Ohio State. I didn't feel it that Oral Roberts was overwhelmed by Ohio State's greatness or anything, So you're going to do a TWFU family barbecue if your picks come in? I mean, yeah, according to Tara, BYU beats Gonzaga in the national championship game.
Yeah, BYU gets all the way.
I mean, March Madness is great. March Madness is great fun because regardless of the games themselves, if you're like me and you play the ESPN Bracket Challenge, then you'll see here, like, these are your brackets. These are my brackets and Rachel's brackets.
Yep.
So you will see here. My first one is the important number to look at here. Let me see if you can see that properly. Sort of. Okay. The important number to look at here is this number here on the side. You want this number to be as high as possible. So even though this says 99 percentile, 110 points, this is a dead bracket. Why? Because the ones that I've lost in the early rounds kill my possibilities into the future. So I want to put it by max. You see, Rachel 4 is our winning entry at the moment with 1,880 points. Rachel 2, 1,830. Eric 2, 1,820. Eric 7, 1,820. And Eric 21, 820. So the top 5, 6, 7, 8 are 1,800 or above. Okay? This 61% might seem bad, but she still has 800 possible points. And, you know, it's conceivable that 800 points could win the whole thing. So this one seems a lot better, but it has the same really max points available, so it's just the same. This one is only 10 points better, so even though it looks better, it's just really just the same. Rachel's here. This is the one that's really doing quite well. The max points you could have at this point is 140. She had 120, and the ones that she lost didn't take her too far deep. So she was wrong about North Texas, but she only had Purdue going this far. No, she only had Purdue going this far.
Yeah.
She has Purdue losing to Baylor. So that cost her a game here and a game in the Sweet 16. But that's it. I guess that's the only one you missed, huh?
Yeah.
That was good. This is a good bracket, Rachel.
Thank you.
You missed San Diego State.
Oh, San Diego State.
San Diego State killed me on a lot of my brackets because
I didn't choose.
They were one of my dark horses. So, yeah, you said, I think you mostly chose San Diego State. You too, because it's probably what I said, but you picked Syracuse on one of them. I know.
I definitely was rooting more for San Diego State.
Oregon State here, they've got the second best free throw shooting percentage in the country. That seems big in tournament time. If I had known that, I would have put them further ahead of my own brackets. But as you see here, on this side, Rachel's pretty chalk, you know, chalk. She's got UNC Greensboro upsetting Florida State tomorrow. Chalk. She's got Maryland in a mild upset over UConn. Chalk. And then let's look at the top of the bracket. Chalk. Missouri is not really an upset. UCSB, she's got 12 over 5 here. Virginia, USC, Kansas, chalk. I mean, this bracket has a good chance, right? And who's the national champion? Iowa, that number 2. This is a good, strong bracket. Because if you look for tomorrow, you got to say, okay, well, how crazy was she tomorrow? Probably tomorrow will be a little less crazy than today.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, because today we had a 12. 10 is not really a huge upset, but a 12, a 10, a 15, and a 13 win. That's kind of a nuts day, right? That's super non-chalk. So this bracket actually has that's nice. 12 of your 25 brackets have a pick in danger of losing. Oh no!
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No wonder it's giving us the red. Wasn't it always only 5 before?
Well, they must have just entered a new score or something.
Oh.
I don't know. So you see, I guess you could look at it like, I don't know what that is. Anyway, this is quite a complicated but smartly done website. Really quite impressive piece of programming, I guess you'd say. And so that's our very best bracket here is Rachel number 4. She's got a good shot with that one.
You've got a good shot too.
Well, let's look at Rachel number 2 here. Now here, Purdue, you see she's lost Purdue and North Carolina. She got this up here through the Sweet 16. And she's lost Ohio State through the Sweet 16. So there's 2 Sweet 16 teams down right off the bat. However, if you look at her, and she's lost Clemson here. Not a big one. Not a big deal. That doesn't go any deeper. If you look at her picks tomorrow, pretty chalk all the way across the board here. Except Georgetown is upset over Colorado. St. Bonnie, Michigan. She's got Grand Canyon upsetting Iowa in this one. That's probably not going to happen, but you never know.
It's not going to be.
There usually are 2 15/2s in a year. But Oregon, Kansas, that's chalk. 12, that's not an unreasonable upset. This is whatever. So this is a strong bracket too, but not as strong as the first one. And let's see about Max. Oh, it looks like Rachel dropped a game somewhere along the line. So now this one is currently my highest possible, 18-20 with Michigan as the national champion. I think Michigan is the weakest of the 1 seeds. What did I lose here? I lost Ohio State through the Sweet 16. And I lost Tennessee through the Sweet 16. So this is equivalent to that bracket of Rachel's.
Yeah.
I also lost Clemson and stuff. Let's see. Max points. Okay, so and then Hochstark 11, 1,810 points. The reason is Purdue all the way to the Elite 8. So that's why it's like, ouch. Even though I got Syracuse, Rutgers, Houston, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Loyola, Chicago, and Illinois. I got the whole Midwest right. I got 1, 2, 3 wrong here. But one of them I had going all the way to the Elite 8. So that one really hurts. And the other one I had going to the round of 16. And yeah. So I lost an Elite 8 and a Sweet 16 in this one. But on the other hand, it does have mostly chalk, it looks like. I got Creighton as an upset. No, Creighton's this favorite there. I've got Georgetown as an upset here. I've got Iona over Alabama tomorrow. So, this bracket's probably shot to hell too. But anyway, I like the brackets. I think it's fun.
Me too. I think they're fun.
I think it makes the whole experience a wonderful, joyful, delightful pleasure cruise. It's like the boob cruise. I remember this this old Amazon's magazine I had, I don't know, decades ago probably. And I had an advertisement for the boob cruise.
Were people topless?
Yeah, where you go on a boat and like all the girls on there are topless.
Oh. It's
sort of like a topless bar was on a boat.
A boob cruise, I like that.
My best bracket in terms of net max points has UCLA and Wisconsin in the Elite 8 and Loyola Chicago in the Final 4. Wah, 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 wah. It seems like a good idea to pick those dark horses when you're picking them, right?
Yes.
And then you regret it when you send them too deep. Anybody else playing brackets and stuff? the fire icon means you're on fire with that bracket, and the ice cube icon means you're doing shitty with that bracket. The thing is, it's possible. I don't know. I never replied to the ad. I just remember being kind of. I must have been maybe early 20s or something, or late teens, when they still had porn magazines. Like you went to the store to get Amazons.
Oh, are they big boobs?
That's a big boob magazine, Amazons.
Amazons. Yeah. Oh, like.
It's kind of like
girls tall too, or just big boobs?
Just big boobs. It was like kind of like Big Naturals was another such magazine. And they had an ad for this thing in the magazine called the Boob Cruise. And I'd look at the ad, and they'd show like some guys standing there with some drinks, and there was just these big girls like handing them drinks and stuff.
Did you want to go on the Boob Cruise?
I mean, I just thought it was, I guess, I found the ad fascinating. I don't remember what I thought about it, really. Probably nothing appropriate for TV.
Oh, Pee-Pee, Daddy's so funny. Isn't Daddy so funny? Yes. Yes, he is.
I'm going to guess this is Rachel's answer to that question. Her answer to that question is no, she would not.
What?
Winston's mom says, Rachel, on a boob cruise, will you go topless? I spent a week on an island in St. Martin, and we could be nude, but I didn't. I might have had the spectacular ones the doctor inflated that I saw.
Yeah, I'm pretty modest when it comes to showing my boobs. I always felt like a prude, honestly. But
I'm sort of on the those are my boobs.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Those are for other people to see.
We're on the same side.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete. Oh, look what's happening, Pee-Pee. What you wanted.
Fake boobs are worse for sure. I really do like the term sweater cows. I think that's a great term.
Sweater what?
Sweater cows.
Sweater cows?
Mm-hmm.
So what other magazines did you get? Did you have to hide them?
Yeah, I'm sure my mom must have known where they were. So she's the one who always cleaned my room. So like, I would clean my room, right? But yeah.
Would they get thrown out?
No.
Oh,
I had Penthouse Forum magazine as well. See, I was just as fond of reading porn as I was of looking at it, in the sense that I could go either way. I'm not sure if I wanted to look at pictures or I wanted to read a story. You know?
That's pretty cerebral.
Yeah, I always found the thank you, Q, to 69 Q there. Because you can never pretend too hard is what I actually said, but close enough. My favorite moment in that video is when I say that doll reminds me of your mom.
With their mouth open like that, too. Yeah. So good.
It's like, probably people go, why is he so childish? But I don't know, that just makes me think it's hilarious, you know?
You gotta laugh every once in a while.
Look at these three adorable little angels. This one reminds me of your mom.
And it does.
I mean, the thing is, the beautiful thing is, it's like everybody gets boob jobs to try to make their boobs look like Rachel's boobs naturally do. So
thank you.
If she were to choose to reveal them on some nudist beach or something, everybody would be like, all the other chicks would be like,
oh, thank you. But I only want you to see them.
I agree with you.
I'm not really a flasher.
And I'm not into look at my chattel, you know.
That's cool. Mwah.
Well, we should take another road trip. Where should we go next? We should take another road. We may actually take one fairly
I
soon.
would love to go on another. We travel very well together.
I would say, we can't afford that right now. Except, I was surprised, very pleasantly surprised, to discover that I did get another stimulus check. I thought I wasn't going to get one this time, but I was totally sure I wasn't going to get one, and then I was like,
the money angels.
I was so sure that I had no idea what it was. I went to Rachel. I showed her this. I printed out my last transactions. I was like, Rachel, what day is it? It's okay. Tuesday we left for Palm Desert, right? Yeah. Do you remember me depositing $1,400?
No.
And she's like, I think it might be the stimulus check. I'm like, oh yeah, huh? That makes sense. It was automatically deposited last time, you know.
Yeah, yours is lucky.
So, I would like to do a little fun day trip, Rachel, where we go out to someplace and make some videos and stuff.
Sure.
That sounds cool. Hey, what did I call it?
To do that.
Did I not call it a stimulus check? What did I call it? A COVID check or something? I called it something else.
COVID check? Stimulus check?
It is a stimulus check, but I think I called it something else.
Oh. COVID.
Look, Legends Fall. Let me explain something about boobs. There may be an platonic form of boobs that is represented on my Rachel here. But given that all other boobs fall short, it's important to remember that all boobs are special in their own way.
They are. That's very important.
Like, if you're going to rub one out, sometimes you want to see that small boob chick really,
get at
maximizing enthusiasm to compensate.
That is a good. Maybe she has a nice butt. I think that smaller breasts I think all size breasts are beautiful.
I do too. The thing is, I don't really like planning trips. So I can envision Rachel and I heading out to Yucaipa or something, maybe to look at some of the stores over there. I think maybe we go to Mojave and just sort of check out the desert area there and see if there's anything weird or interesting to look at.
That would be cool.
If we were gonna take an overnighter, we could go to like Lone Pine or something. Spend the night in a motel in Lone Pine.
That sounds fun.
Maybe try to get a little fishing in or something.
We just did come back from.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're gonna go right away.
Oh.
I'm just saying
that could be a nice thing for us to do next.
Yeah, maybe in a week or two. It's like if we're not talking about a big thing, right? We're saying let's go do one night, because it's pretty easy to do one night with the cat.
Yeah, it's easier. Octavia Silva, hello. Hi, PP.
I think if we were really to ask her, she'd probably say she would like to go with us. But then when she actually went with us, she'd be like, I don't really want to go with you.
She doesn't like being in the car. She goes right towards Eric's feet.
Why would anybody have a testicle lift? That makes no sense.
Right, PP?
If you're like
in the front with Daddy.
If you're like me, your testicles range from, your scrotum basically ranges from full blast scrunched up as much as he can to golf balls in a sock, depending on the temperature and other things that I don't know what they're related to. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're all
Sometimes that's because of the cold.
Cold, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, your scrotum is designed to go when it's cold and when it's hot because it's trying to keep your sperms at an appropriate temperature.
You know what I never knew before you?
What?
Was that, like, your scrotum moves.
Yeah, it really does.
Alive.
If you look at it with a magnifying glass, it just squirms around continually.
Yeah.
Like some kind of anime monster. Hi, Freddy Forgiato. So I think that the big frame is, can I change the world with my words? And the small frame is, you want to smoke some weed? Let's smoke some weed.
Let's smoke some weed, yeah.
We got some new weed today.
I like the first one. I got a stony high from the first one we tried.
I mean, I think that they're all very solid, good weeds.
Me too.
And I think we were a little bit spoiled coming into these bottles from our last bottles.
Yeah.
So these are
good.
These were 60 out the door, okay? The ones we got in Palm Springs, which includes taxes, $60 includes taxes. Whereas the ones we got in Palm Springs were 60 before taxes, which means they're like 90 out the door. 90. Now, we would never pay that except on vacation. And normally we don't pay this much for weed either. But we went down to this place anticipating getting an ounce, and they were out of ounces. And so we got this. And you know what? The fact is, 3/8 of an ounce of like premium weed lasts sometimes about as long as an ounce of cheaper weed.
Yeah, we really honestly the stuff that we got in Palm Springs Palm Springs lasted a while.
Yeah, we had just a quarter, and we got a quarter in Palm Springs that lasted like 3 days or something. We got it on Tuesday night, and we smoked it all Wednesday, and we smoked it all Thursday, and there's even a bong rip left this morning. Yeah, so that lasted a good amount of time. But it's like weed's definitely our biggest expense, and when I can find good, decent ounces at a decent price, I will always try to pick them up because it saves us a lot of money if I can. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're at the weed store, they're out of ounces. You're really gonna walk out of there and go, all right, I'll go to Herbarium, spend the same amount of money for an ounce.
No.
Knowing that everything we smoke here is going to be quite good. And if we get the ounce, it's hit and miss, and it may not really even last that much longer. It's like, because what we got here is 10.5 grams.
Which one should I smoke next? Should I go backwards?
I'm going to go in the same order.
Okay.
Again, and I'm going to try to really evaluate. We've each smoked one bong rep of these. Yeah, they sell resins and concentrates and meow. Well, thanks, Horse Fumbler. That's really kind of you to say. They sell food too, edibles.
T-shirts too.
They got a great T-shirt. I wanted to get. I almost got it today. I almost just said, "Fuck it, let's get it." It on the front of it, I think it says the name of their collective, but on the back it says "Best Drugs in Hollywood."
So smart.
Because it is right in Hollywood, That's the only problem going down there is traffic can be a bitch. But tonight, pretty easy squeezing.
It was.
All the freeway traffic was light. The traffic on Melrose Avenue on Friday night is just always going to be a nightmare. But it's close to the freeway.
It was Friday.
But it's close to the freeway.
Very close to the freeway.
So the thing is,
oh, kidding around.
Last night when I got mad at my not what I felt like communicating successfully or whatever, I ended up feeling demoralized somewhat. But then this morning when I live streamed, I engaged with everybody again about the same topics, but I engaged with it much better. And well, I don't think I got any kind of response in the moment that said, I'm getting through to this person really. I suspect that, like me, they take away from experiences. They take away experiences from the experience and then sit with it for a while and gain additional information about it or relate to it differently. It's like, I get that nobody wants to be yelled at, and it's a problem I have, I get frustrated because I can't always tell in part. This wasn't the case last night. But I can't always tell if the person's being serious or not. Like, is this actually their perspective or are they just baiting? So it's like,
Our creative kitty.
I guess I have more invested. In people that I know aren't just baiting, and I expect to be able to get through to them in some sense. And I don't find generally that I'm able to at least make progress that I can see. But I got to remember that I can make progress I can see in myself, in the sense that I definitely did a better job of engaging the same people about the same topics this morning. And that's good. I'm not sure they did a better job of engaging the topics this morning, but they probably walked away with a somewhat different perspective on it.
You can only hope.
Yeah.
That's at least what.
And it's like the moon rocks thing. Okay, the moon rocks thing is an interesting point. Okay, so I put this video up yesterday or something that said an example of how to convince me of something, and this moon rocks argument. So it's funny how everybody falls for what didn't. Yeah, I smoked moon rocks plenty of times. It didn't get past me for a second. I immediately saw what was happening there. The first time I read about this, same thing happened with the second time I read about it, which is they say they're using these new, more powerful tests, but nothing the scientists say suggests that that's why the results are different. They all say they explain it in some other way as to why the results are different. And so, so the thing is, these articles are back in 2020 when the scientific results were published about these new results in moon rocks, contradicting all the previous conclusions we'd drawn about moon rocks, and thereby calling into question the theory of the moon being basically a knocked off chunk of a larger former Earth. In both instances, the article began with mentioning they're using new, better tests, right? But then in both articles, it also addressed why these results weren't found before And in both articles, the answer is not because the tests are better. It's something else. And yet, like Genexial, when he saw that, he's like, it says right there, Eric, why it's better. It's because it says better. No, it implies that. And then when you act, but it actually provides you the answer to the question, which is, it's definitely not that. So it's weird how subject people are to those kind of implications. It's I mean, it reminds me of how let's say Rachel and I were talking about in the car. Like first we were listening to music in the car and we heard this song by They Might Be Giants called The Communists Have the Music. And I said at the end of it, you know, that's such an ENTP song. The only people who are going to understand all those references are NTPs. It's like nobody else is going to get all those freaking references or think they're cool and clever or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You know, there's all kinds of references in that song that I think I get them all, but I probably am missing some subtle clevernesses as well. Doing quite well. I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling happy. Good too. Yeah. Me 3.
And I just want to stress the general rule while we're fed and everybody. Yesterday's beef is yesterday's beef. It's like I'm not holding any grudges or fretting or anything. It's whatever. People just come in and I take them as they are today. I understand that sometimes we're in different moods and such, you know. That's just how it is. So, the thing is, it just seems really curious that these scientists would say they've gotten different results from the same 60-year-old results, that they're using new, more high powerful tests, but also that that's not why they're getting different results. So it's like, that's weird. You know, I don't know what to make of it. I don't have any conclusions that I'm particularly drawing about it, but I would get why someone would say, if the moon landing is real, or at least if your existing understanding of it is correct, Eric, explain this. I can get why someone would say that, you know, because it seems to me that yeah, I do that too, Jeff. So I mean, sometimes I come in like a wrecking ball. I have fascists have the outfits, but the communists have the music. And music. It's a good song. It's basically about how the singer is saying, like, and the spirit of it is, I'm with the art crowd artistically, and I'm with the intellectual crowd intellectually, and art's more important to me. It's such an ENTP song.
It really is. They're a great example of ENTP music.
This, my friends, is what is meant by the terms lung capacity.
That guy. Ooh. Isn't that a transubstantiated one to the live chat? Yeah.
Heavy metal all the way to the boob cruise.
Oh, wow. You're so hardcore.
Thanks. I do my best. All right, so there are warehouses filled with documentation from the moonwalk, which would have to be fake. The moon rocks could have been someone's way of conserving real rocks or clerical error. Sure. I mean, look, I'm not denying that there are plenty of other explanations for this moon rock conundrum than the moon landing was faked, right? And like I said in the video, I am not saying this convinces me the moon landing is faked. But the story it tells smacks anybody's NI right in the face, right? Hold on a second. The Chinese are coming back with real moon rocks in a year or so. We better fix this story. Scientists now say the new studies on 60-year-old Apollo rocks reveal the exact opposite conclusion that they've been maintaining for the last 60 years. That's fishy.
Yeah.
I know this, but the articles I'm talking about were in 2020, about a year before the Chinese people came with the new rocks. It totally seems like prevent defense, you know? So that when somebody says, hold on, these rocks aren't the same as the ones that NASA brought back at all, somebody goes, well, we already figured that out last year. Last year we figured that out. We were wrong about those rocks.
Oh.
It just anybody with any NI at all goes, okay, what the fuck? You've got to be kidding me. This is too many like NI points for you to ignore. And it's in two separate articles. I saw them do the same thing, which is imply that these new tests were the results for the new results, but then actually say not that. I think the Russians should take a naming protocol of this. Everything they name should rhyme with Sputnik. Next, they could have Butnik, and they could have Putnik. They could have Nutpick. Nutpick is a good name for a spaceship.
Yeah.
The USS Nutpick.
Nutpick.
Launched by the Soviet Union, aka Russia. I miss the Soviet Union. Who here misses the Soviet Union? Let's bring back the Soviet Union.
I'm not sure if I was alive.
I feel like the Soviet Union was a much more sane partner to deal with, and a much better handler on China than Russia ever will be. Jesus is Lord. Thank you for the $5. You're a gentle person, scholar, and reader of fine literature, and I will tell you the answer to your question. What's my opinion on perspective of an ISFP-T? So I don't believe in subtypes. I don't think there are thinker subtypes, feeler subtypes, or anything like that. I do think that a person's type kind of functionally, from an international perspective, Legends Fall, the Soviet Union was very easy to deal with conceptually. Anyway, I just don't believe in subtypes. I think all subtypery stuff can, yeah, exactly, Boba Fett. All subtypery stuff can be explained by a Negrum. So, like, I'm a 7-8-4 ENTP. If you were to say, oh, this person's a TI subtype of an ENTP, probably you'd be saying they're a 5. They're an ENTP 5. So they're going to seem more TI and they're going to seem less NE because 7's more of an extroverted type and 5's more of an introverted type, you know? If you're going to talk about a TI heavy INFJ, they're probably going to be a 5. NI heavy, going to be a 7. That's how they're going to seem in terms of affect, right? Because the affect of a 5 is more about understanding more. It's more of a deliberative frame of reference and less of a, whereas 6 is like a knowledge frame of reference, whereas 7 is like an action frame of reference or an interface frame of reference. Define the China-U.S. relations, something like meat and potatoes and maybe rice, GDP, etc. Well, you know, in the status quo, China has an embargo on U.S. beef. And that if you want to talk about a specific policy I'd like to see changed, I'd like to see that changed. The justifications for their embargo are health related, namely that U.S. beef might be subject to mad cow disease. And I think it's an absolutely asinine justification. And it's how they're getting around some specific elements of some specific trade agreements. Would I like to see those kind of unacceptable trade inequities resolved? I would. I think that it's important for us not to play Trump and say, let's have a trade war with China. Although I don't think that was by any means a terrible decision. Unlike a lot of people, I don't condemn his trade war with China in retrospect, and I did at the time. But that was I changed my opinion on it, frankly. I still wouldn't go about it that way, but I agree that we need to be a lot more active in managing our relationship with China. We cannot operate under the assumption that anything they're doing is legit or above board. They're so skeevy. So, in that regard, this is me saying, in retrospect, Trump was a lot brighter than I gave him credit for at the time. So at the time, I condemned Trump for his let's go to trade war with China. I just thought, well, who's this going to help?
I did too, actually.
But in retrospect, I have a little bit more respect for the decision. Do you believe the tension is economic or economies of scale, which include all facets of power? I find the question predicated on a metaphor so reified that it's not really meaningful to answer. The tension is economic. Tension between whom? People have tension between them. Countries might have tension between them. But you're saying, are diplomatic tensions driven by economic conflicts or non-economic conflicts? Both, and independently and separately. They're independent vectors, So there are definitely, say, human right vectors that influence our dynamics with China. There are economic vectors that influence our dynamics with China. There are sovereignty vectors that so as a presidential candidate, my position on the matter is that it's the sovereignty vectors we have to prioritize. That China is making international policy of infringing on the sovereignty of other nations, and we ought to prevent them from doing that. Are those other things interesting as well and important? Yeah, sure. Should we have an active hand in managing trade inequities between the two countries? Absolutely. And should we have at least an active voice about humanitarian concerns? Yes. I don't know whether or not we ought to include those in our deal making, though, if they're within the legitimate purview of the sovereignty of the PRC. That does not include Taiwan and Hong Kong.
Very straight up about that. I think I'm gonna go to bed soon. I'm tired. Is that okay? I feel bad.
Sure, of course, darling. No, it's gonna be a fairly short live stream anyway.
I'll watch from bed.
Yeah, sure. I love you, darling.
I love you too.
So, the thing is, thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer.
Yeah, there's a space there. It's never off topic. Okay.
You're sweet.
Well, sure, Boba Fett. Nobody's saying that we aren't subject to the shortcomings of mob rule and the ideal government form. Good night.
I didn't mean to make it a long one.
And
I was saying goodnight to Boba Fett, but I got another one out of it.
And the ideal government form or whatever is subject to the same rule as everything else. Don't totalize any dogma. Totalizing a democratic dogma That's not a value. Democracy is not a value to uphold, right? It's it's an architecture that at least purports, or that one can evaluate according to certain metrics, but compare against certain values, but it's not a value in and of itself. Just like utilitarianism isn't a value, right? Utilitarianism is a value criterion. People in debate often do this thing that pisses me off. They run utilitarianism as a value. That's a very fucking analyst thing to do. Boba Fett, I agree with you. All this bickering and infighting in the U.S., we are not making a mockery of ourselves. We're making a mockery of our citizen democracy. And we are betraying the genuine work of being a civil society, the genuine work that our ancestors put into being a civil society. We're neglecting lessons we've already learned. We're ignoring them. We are neglecting universal truths. We are ignoring them. We are forsaking knowledge in general. There are NI truths we need to embrace. But, some of those are NIFI truths, and we need to be able to distinguish them as an ideal value, perhaps, but not a prescription. So it's like equality as an NI value, right? And that's great. We need to uphold it as a value then, not treat it as a mechanism or a value criterion, not check the equality to see if we've attained a good, but rather use some genuine means that's legitimate that will naturally, without messing with it, attain something like that. So it's like, my goal is to hopefully make agendaism the boogeyman. It seems like people have to have a boogeyman. They have to have a name for something to hate. And they have to be able to somehow group those people. So I would say that in order to both subvert that and incorporate it into my approach, given its sort of inherent utility, that one ends up ironically demonizing, totalizing things, so it's fun, right? It's a little intellectual fun game there, but right. I mean, I also think it's words, so that's but the challenge, the ultimate challenge is this. The reason I have faith in my ability to successfully convey important truths is because I refuse to be dishonest. But the problem is there's some dishonesty implicit in saying, agendaists, those are the problem. Now, granted, it's emulated against itself inoculated against itself because it's saying, it's pulling out of a frame level. It's saying, Don't evaluate it at that frame level, evaluate it on a process level instead, right? So in that sense, it does technically make some effort to inoculate itself from its own critique. But I understand also that people aren't going to grok it that deeply. And so I feel a sense of drooping eyes when I think of having to explain this over and over again to people who are just smart enough, right? Smart enough to realize there's a contradiction, not smart enough to realize the sort of meta inoculation thing, or the need to make statements in a world that precludes me from sustaining somebody's attention for infinite time and explaining everything, right? It's what I was saying in the car earlier, Rachel, is I spent so much of my youth being completely fucking blind to other people's experiences of things. Such that they'd say to me, I don't understand what you're saying. You understand. Don't try to play that shit. Don't play dumb with me, mister. The reality is they probably didn't understand is why they were saying that to me. I just found it like, I was thinking about this because of these songs, right? There was the song by They Might Be Giants that has all these references, all these obscure things that only NTPs or maybe NFJs are going to know about, and then maybe NTJs, and then there's this song Rat by Penelope, whatever her name is, and she does the same kind of thing, but she keeps it at a broad enough level that most everybody's going to get most of the references in there, but also includes this combo reference to Malthus and that essay called The Modest Proposal by, I think it was Jonathan Swift, maybe. Anyway, that's, the smooth incorporation of the obvious relevance between Malthus and A Modest Proposal and the lack of actual exact linkage is just a piece of NETI masterwork, but only NTPs are going to get that one bit of that song. The rest of it is all at a universally consumable level. It's not trying to be fancy. I mean, it is trying to be fancy, but it's pulling it off by being universally accessibly fancy. So in other words, it's everybody gets a reference that says, you swore you'd be Tesla, you're just another Edison, right? That's a reference that's universally gettable. Unlike the Malthus, a modest proposal combo illusion, So, like, how much of what I'm all saying right now is being understood by how many people in what context? It's like what I'm saying right now is interesting and good stuff, but not very accessible. It's kind of selfish in that regard. Like, I need to work more towards being more like an INFJ and prioritizing actual communication over literal correctness. So it's a work in progress. It's a growing garden. It's a flowering plant. I hereby transubstantiate this bong rip too. every single person here in the live stream right now. That's you, Boba Fett. That's you, 69 Kita. That's you, Winston's mom. I'm going to skip you, Rachel. Okay? You don't need a transportation bargain rip. If you really want a bargain rip, you can come out here and get one. Okay? That's you, Jeff Shaw. That's you, Horse Mumbler. I bought it with Horse Mumbler. Okay? This cool lighter of mine. That's you. That's it. Morage, if you're still here, and Jennifer. That's all of you people. Jesus is Lord, of course. You get it for sure for your $5 donation, which is greatly appreciated. But not Rachel. She can come out here and pull a real bong hit if she wants to. I transubstantiate thee. That's how you'd know that I had it's like if I had a total bitch girlfriend, right? She'd be like, Eric, you better not transubstantiate bongers to people other than me when I go inside the house. Be like, Rachel, God, he's so inconsiderate. Look. Transubstantiated barbers are specialists just for you and me. Okay? If you want transubstantiated barbers, that's the I give it one. You never take your dick. Like that. Yeah. That'd be a very difficult person to be with, I think. Is that a kitty meow meow pants? Well, come on in, kitty meow meow pants. Oh, are you out of the food you like? Uh-oh. Better watch out. Santa Claus is coming to town. There you go, darling squirrely. I tell you something, the fish tank's looking clean, diddly clean. I did quite a bit of Muggin and Myan and Mugity Meows. Of Piggin and Pion and Pyogity Pios. So, okay. I think I'm gonna strum a tune or two on the old strumming on the old banjo, and I'm singing hi, hiddly hi, hey, hi, hiddly hi ho, hey, hi, he, hiddly hi, hey, strumming on the old banjo. Surely as you enjoy me being here. Yeah, you can't stay forever. Gotta meet us for Trevor and Trevor later on before the night is through. And that's why I can't stay forever here with you. sure to play the sad song as part of the set. I agree with them. I suspect that it's one of the best. It suits well as well, I think, for me and Rachel, and so it surely will be incorporated. Yeah, I like to be here with you just as much as you do, but I can't stay here forever. Yeah, they had some moments for us, remember? I was thinking so too. That there's a song in there. There's a good song in there in that little freestyle. I have a lot of those little freestyles, but there's a good song in there. Some of them I make a good song out of it actually, and some of them, most of them they're just unprocessed ore on the side of the road. Not forever, just for better. Meow, 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 meow. I don't know how to play that song. Sorry to tease you like that. I didn't mean to tease you like Prince teased us at the Prince concert. Did I tell you this? You probably have heard the story, but I'll repeat it again. I'm going to pull a bomb before I play the song. Prince teased us at the concert. What did he start doing in the middle of the show? Like, towards the end, okay? Everyone's like, oh my God. And he's like, psych, I don't play Darling Nikki anymore. Right? I'm Jehovah's Witness. I don't play Darling Nikki because it's too sexual. All right, Prince. You're the artist futurely known as Fuck Off. Not cool. Not cool. He's dead. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead. Sorry, Prince. Sorry, Prince's soul in heaven or hell or wherever it is. But I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but that was pretty fucked up. We were all looking forward to you playing that song. You can just hear it starting, right? When I sing the beginning part of Darling Nikki, you can hear it probably in your head just rolling. I met a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. I said, how'd you like to waste some time? And I could not resist when I saw little Nikki grind. Nikki! Sexual when he's wandering around and fuck me pumps and poofed hair with lipstick. I mean, at 50, he's grind, little Nicky, grind. Probably his best song. It's such a good song. It's such a well-written song, It's very difficult to sing. If you haven't sung it before and you were to try to sing the melody of it right now, you'd probably have trouble doing what I just did. It took me a long time before I could do what I just did. It's a very tricky melody if you listen to it. It goes, I met a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. I said, how'd you like to waste some time? And I could not resist when I saw little Nikki grind. Nikki. It's a tricky melody. I tell you what else has a tricky melody is this part of the song Delilah or by Cole Porter goes, you can tell at a glance what a swell night it is for romance. You can hear dear Mother Nature murmuring low, let yourself go. That is a hard melody to sing. I had to practice that a bunch of times before I had it down. It's so complicated, right? But it's so intuitive too. It's weird. You can tell at a glance what a swell night this is for romance. You can hear dear Mother Nature murmuring low, let yourself go. Very complicated melody, huh? I like music a lot. It makes me happy. Everything about music makes me happy. It's so pure and good and just and true and fine and special. It's so unsullied by words and thoughts about stuff. It's only ever sullied by words. Sometimes it's made better, but I don't know. It's where all the magic in the world really lies. Some folk call me a rambling man, cause I do a lot of kicking and thinking cans, and I do a lot of freaking Eric. Some folk call me a rambling man, cause I do a lot of thumbing and kicking cans, and I won't do it as again to call me names. My daddy wasn't Willie Woodoo, I wasn't born and raised in no killer, just a wild boy looking for a place to do my thing. I'm gonna find me a wealthy woman in a line of work that don't take no diploma, cause I ain't got much to lose but lots to gain. I ain't no good time fella, but I ain't no black and I ain't no yellow, just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. I ain't got time hanging down, living no one any part of anything they giving. I'm proud of mine, I've got a song to sing. I've done these things and I'll admit it, but it's gonna get it, gotta help and get it. Just a white boy looking for a place to do my thing. The song really isn't quite well practiced enough, but you know, you get the gist of it. Small town boy, feared and ready. I gotta work just to be somebody. I'm a wild boy looking for a place to do mine. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If I want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. Cause wild boy looking for a place to do my thing. Well, that's the worst I played that song in a long time. But you know what? It's a little out of practice is why. Let me try playing a song that I can look at the things that I don't have to memorize. To tend to go a little bit more smoothly. How about this one? Yeah, I'll try this one. Oh, he came here with her. And what's the big problem that you can't endure? It seems so sure you're not appropriate claiming to blame things on Scott. Despite getting caught, he's got you reframing for him, straining for him, going to the gym to make yourself good enough again. Yeah, you guys both have lots invested. That's not a reason to stay around. Through the years, you've both been tested. Time to move up, find higher ground. He came here with her, and what's the big problem that you can't endure? You seem so sure it's not appropriate framing to blame things on Scott. Despite getting caught, he's got you reframing for him, straining for him, going to the gym to make yourself good enough again. Be done with them. This is like either, I don't know if it's A slot SE, if it's 6 slot TE. Why not move the camera in the circle so you don't have to go like this to see the stuff behind it? I don't know which one it is. It's one of those things. It's probably TE because it tends to make me say, God, you're dumb, Eric. Which sounds like critical parent, as they say in Fancy Town or wherever it is they say those things. You're living on a time frame I will never know. Alienation and humanity's soul. Imagine you a future after the collapse, returning to the urgency of isolated past. Picturing community free of metaphysics, and you're hunting buffalo while you're picking red delicious, and the knowledge of the seasons and wisdoms will fold. Fires blazing in the night to keep away the cold. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way. Love life as children of the land, with an agave weatherman. Imagining a history that never could have been. You lecture at the college, advancement is a sin. Lamenting disconnection and every corporate act. Asserting all your feelings and ignoring all the facts. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way. By what you think is in the way of life as children of the land, with an agave weatherman. You find modernity just so banal. Wish you had been born any time but now, and your experience won't run afoul of exceptions you might allow. You visualize nobility sipping on some port, for tribes of peaceful savages in beautiful comport. A few of history's people ever thusly did conform, cause life was solitary, nasty, brutish, poor, and short. Hostility is kept at bay by what you think is in the way of life as children of the land, with an agave weatherman. With an agave weatherman. Like the last 2 notes or whatever. I played that song about as well as I think I've ever played it. as you know, it's like that's life with Eric, of course. I completely just shot all over the top of the cover, and then meowed the next one pretty well, but and then I say, oh, you ever played that song that well before? So you never know what you're gonna get. It's a wheel of fortune around here, as they say in both the tarot and game show business. Just brooding here won't do any good, but brooding's more and more my style. I seek the cheery ways of sitting where we stood, 'cause I've been stuck here a while. That's despite a natural selfishness that makes it easy to have fun. The flutters in the gut become a fist as all my visions come undone. I tried to stream distracting during the afternoon away, but every new reality is breaking every day, and for a bit I am out of it, for reasons still unsaid. Still I need get out of me words inside my head. It seems like everybody's so sensitive and ready to just get mad. I seek the simple ways of living like a kid, 'cause who wants to be the dad? Have we lost our sense of scope and scale, our capacity to laugh, the sense to know when not to wail, and how to tip the golden calf? I tried to strip, distract, and turn the afternoon away, but every new realities are breaking every day, and for a bit I am out of it, for reasons still unsaid. But still I need expectorate what's inside my head. And so I'm sad, sad for me, sad for her, unhappily, and what you call sorrow I call home. Blues that sink clear down to the bone. Yeah, still I'm sad, sad for me, sad for her, unhappily, and what you call sorrow I call home. Blues that sink clear down to the bone. Yeah, still I'm sad, sad for me, sad for her, unhappily, and what you call sorrow I call home. Blues that sink clear down the bone. Yeah, thank you, New York City. It's like two people there. My stadium tour will have to wait, I guess. All right, that's it for me. I gotta animate before bed. Of course, I have to, or else I get sick physically. So thanks so much for the 30 people who are here. I love you so much. You are the best. Okay, those people who are here listening to me play the guitar, you are my heroes. Encore, fine. I'll play an encore. Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a lot. Gerald has a pot. Thinks the margarine's tater tots. He's got a good idea for a name change business. Thinking out now about what it was Christmas when they hired his firm to change that name. Joe always thought there'd be chance enough to return to the work less rough. He'd get back to it eventually, but his vision piled up and his fans would interrupt all the work that took tough to properly. Now his mind's back on his business, thinking about changing fact list to list, and so how other people take care of his name. But Gerald knows he understands everyone putting out. He won't provide explanation right in the White House. He'll see you and know you from inside your heart. Exciting and delighting Gerald playing hard. But Gerald still knew there's too much to do, and he dropped time in the interview. Tried to rebut, so where now and what? Too much time spent in picking the skill with you. Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a plot. Gerald has a plot. Think Marjorie's tasty spots. He's got a good idea for a name changing business. Thinking now about what he'll call business when they hire that firm to change his name. Gerald has a thought. Is it a good idea to try to fix your fears by throwing yourself in situations that invoke that fear? No, I'd say it's a good idea to try to fix your fears by throwing yourself in a barrel of beers. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know. I'm no phobia doctor. Thanks for being here and watching me and my shortness of breath. I love you all. Good night.